Welcome back to the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast. I know this is a little bit tardy, but we have the recap of the Tour Auvergne Rhône-Alpes, also known as the Dauphiné Stage 7. Benji's going to have to carry the first part. I have just watched, and thanks for the guys waiting, I have just watched the final climb Grand Colombier in full. And this episode is brought to you by Morton in more ways than one. Without them, there would be no podcast today, literally, because I'd be done.
You'd be dead by the side of the, the cliff in Andorra.
I'm so cooked. If everyone doesn't know, I did the Andorra UTMB 50K race today and
running,
yeah,
in the mountains up to 2,500 altitude meters.
Yeah, 3.5K elevation gain, 50Ks. I was suffering a lot. I had like bad cramps and spasms in my groin and calves, like 12Ks in, which wasn't ideal, and then it went away. So I just suffered for 5 hours, and then I came good the last 2.5 hours. So I went under 10 hours. I take it.
I got to say, Patrick, I looked at the tracking website all day next to Dauphiné. I was like multi-screen watching two races, and I noticed 46 seconds of rest time on the website of that correct. Tracking thing.
I stopped for an hour.
About that, that's a bit fast for a wheel change, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's incorrect. I think there was cumulative close to an hour. I went out way too hard. I did a parabolic pacing strategy, not a negative split, not a positive. I did a parabolic pacing strategy. So I've just done the first 1,000 meters full gas because I was like, I've never run further than 17 Ks. I'm going to have a mechanical breakdown. So get the Ks in as fast as possible. Because like aerobically, like fitness-wise, I was fine even in the last whatever. And then I was suffering. I was crying because like I couldn't feel my feet. My like feet were in so much pain. And then I came good the last 15, 18K.
Finished it. I need to get a congrats, Patrick, in the chat, in the comment section on every platform right now, because doing a 50 by the way, your Strava says 49.71 kilometers. Did you cheat?
I did not. I did the official route. Yeah, I did. If you look on the live thing, it said 50.3, so we'll meet in the middle. Anyway, Morton, I literally I smashed so many carbs in today. I did 70 grams an hour. I did 700 grams of carbs. And I had no issues. I was running. You look at my splits at the end, I couldn't believe it. So it was unbelievable how well that worked, the nutrition from Morton. I actually can't believe it because I'd never done anything like this before. And yeah, it really was unbelievable how I didn't have any stomach issues.
Talking about parabolic, that is what we're going to talk about today in the race as well, because we had a mountain stage, which kind of looks like a parabola if you look and squint very much at the parkour. But lots of parkours, lots of climbs throughout the parkour is what I meant. We have 3.5 climbs roughly in the first 30 kilometers that could be seen as breakaway formation climbs, then a harder climb in the middle that is not the hardest climb of the day, of course, and then 2 climbs in the last 40 kilometers, and the last one is what matters, the Grand Colombier. But I want to put something straight. Yesterday we spoke about the Grand Colombier being the climb that we saw in 2020 and so forth in Tour de l'Ain. Today's version was a harder side of it. Like, this is one of the harder climbs I've seen in France. It's 10.1%, 8.5 kilometers. That's a hard climb. And portions of it up to 20% this climb. So absolutely brutal. When it comes to GC going into the race, Patrick, what were we looking at? Because it was kind of a Mexican standoff without a outcome yesterday between the two big guns, right?
Yeah, like Del Toro and Seixas. I think Seixas cracked himself about 30 seconds after he dropped Jorgensen. And then they really slowed down. And the reason we see that is Tuckwell did like the last K. I swear Tuckwell did the last K like the same speed as Seixas and Del Toro, more or less. They already had it down to 3:30 and it stayed at 3:30. So those two really were level, Del Toro and Seixas, and they were, when they couldn't shake each other, they were also shadow boxing a little bit. But yeah, today's stage, you got Nordhagen in theory in GC. Him and Hageners don't start, so he's out of the race. We've got lots of teams with sickness or crashes or whatever. And what was the break here, Benji?
Only out, Almeida out.
Only didn't
and
start,
about
did he?
break, it's a only DNS today's stage. And Almeida as well, but that was not really a surprise based on the form we've seen this week as well. But break formation is a bit difficult to explain to you because neutral zone, already a crash. Daniel Martinez crashes, he gets back on the bike. Then we go further into break formation. We probably have some attacks. It's not broadcasted yet. But then we get to the third climb, the downhill, the biggest break formation climb. And the race gets neutralized by the organization. The riders in the race applaud the organization for doing this because there was gravel in the downhill. And Ayuso after the race said there would have probably have been crashes if the race was not neutralized there. So credits to the organizers for doing so. Then when the race restarted, about 30-35k into the race is my estimation, break formation kicked off again. And that's when directly Paul Seixas crashed hard. The big favorite going into this race crashes hard. We don't have any video of it. We just see a picture of him laying by the side of the road, someone trying to pick him up to try and get him back on the bike. And I'm looking at the tracker, Patrick, and it's saying 3 minutes. 3 minutes, and he's getting back on the bike and is continuing. Now, French TV, apparently on Eurosport, said that the 3 minutes was related to him having a concussion check. I don't know if that's true. I wasn't there, but that would explain why the gap was so big before he could continue. I didn't know that at the time, so I was really worried, especially because when Bissiger and Hole started waiting in the group ahead, the gap actually expanded to 4 minutes in the next 30 minutes of that race. If you are watching at this point, Patrick, without broadcast, just ticker, what was your thoughts, hypothetically, if you were watching?
It's like a what's the honorable thing to do question.
Okay.
Like, because we just saw a quote from Leo Bizio saying, why did the other teams pace?
Yeah, break formation hasn't even properly kicked off again after the race restart. So you're asking everybody in the race, including the riders that could potentially win from the breakaway, to do nothing? Because Paul Seixas crashed, and in hindsight, he said after the race, due to his own mistake in a downhill, passing 2 riders when he shouldn't have. I think it's impossible to ask the whole peloton to wait when it happens in break formation, you know?
Yeah, and he's taking a risk. He crashes on some dirt. I mean, yeah, that's how it is. And I think from what I read, the GC teams, Visma and UAE, only started really pacing like after the Lacet de Grand Colombier, like 50Ks later. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just how it is. And, I think he's not in the jersey and he's also got a strong team. I don't really have a strong view on it. I think they didn't ride him fully out of the race. He came back.
Yeah, but I also just think that Bizio shouldn't be yapping like this, if I'm being honest. I think it's I like the back and forth we've seen from even Seixas towards Tuckwell, even though that was a bad translation, I think, that he said Tuckwell's not really a leader, it came across. I think that's just a mistranslation, but either way, it's I am enjoying the drama that we have between leaders in some of these races, and it's good to have that in the sport of cycling, but in this case, when it comes to Bizio, it just sounds like whining, if I'm being honest. But to continue onwards, Patrick, we get towards that Lacet du Grand Colombier, and there is where a breakaway launches either on the climb or just before the climb with Quinn Simmons, the Plus, and Carlos Rodriguez, so 2 riders for Netcompany Ineos, Valentin Paré-Pancher, and 2 more riders next to that, so roughly 6 riders up the road, but Quinn Simmons actually ends up waiting for the next group in the downhill or in the flat section afterwards, and then starts pacing the peloton. So it looks like Trek realized, okay, at this point, the boys at Seixas, we don't know if he's going back, we got a race, and Simmons dropped back and started pacing there. But about the return of the Decathlon, there's a lot of steps here. I said earlier, when he crashed, Bissiger and Hole waited instantly and then paced in for the valley towards that climb, the Lacet du Grand Colombier. On that climb, Aurélien Paré-Pancher dropped back to help him. It's like the team car did not panic. If I was in that team car, Patrick, I would have been like, Paul's down, everybody, put your bikes down, wait on Paul Seixas, panic, full panic. That's the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is what I think the team car did here, which is the gradual pulling back of the riders, and doing so, making sure that they can follow the peloton until they're necessary behind. And I think that's the perfect way to do so, right?
Yeah, if Seixas is like not injured too badly. But yeah, they come back.
Well, I want to add a bit more there because there's a bit more to that story.
He's got blood
After
coming
we
out of his
have-
right hip, right?
What, sorry?
His right hip was bloody. Like he's landed, he slid out and hit his right hip pretty hard.
Yeah, he's got some blood on his side, on his back a little bit as well. There's some wounds there, but after Pare Pantre, then we also see Prodom waiting and Biziot waiting, who does the final push. But there's also a small segment in a relatively narrow road. It didn't take too long, if I'm being honest, where the team of Decathlon, while trying to come back, was basically in the wheel of the team car. And it's a highly discussed moment on social media. And I do have something to say here. A lot of people are asking for a disqualification, a fine for Seixas, stuff like that. There's two different pieces of car pacing to me, Patrick, and you have to tell me whether you agree or not. There's the kind of car pacing where you're coming back to the peloton, you're in the race caravan, you're in the wheel of a car, and that car has to stay in position, basically, because it can't move up without permission of the commissaire to do so. That is what was happening here. That is different to me than car pacing with a car that brings riders back to the caravan at the back of the peloton. That should be fine. What Seixas and his team did here, if you start disqualifying riders for that, you have to do so with 20 to 40 riders every day, I think. You haven't seen it, so...
If it's in the caravan, it's play on. That is just how it is.
Yeah. That's what happened here. And it wasn't the longest period in the race either. I think massive credits to how Decathlon brought Seixas back here, and that one moment in the return is being over-discussed, and in my opinion, undeservedly. But yeah, Seixas gets back. We get a situation where that breakaway is still up the road, but the gap is coming down, and we're now slowly but surely coming to that final climb. And Patrick, this is where I launch you into the breakaway of this podcast. It's time for you to take over. You've seen the race. The Grand Colombier is coming.
No, I've actually seen it. So this climb's irregular. It's 5K is really steep at the start. Then there's a 3% kilometer. Then the last 1,500 meters are really, really steep. Ayuso, Trek go for Ayuso. They're very confident in him. Yesterday, he was not so good, actually. He was nowhere near as good as he was today. And yeah, yesterday, Ayuso just got like cooked, basically. And today, they're pacing with Kemna. Kemna was actually really good. He finished his pull. Verona started pulling, and then Kemna tried to come back because he saw that Seixas and Tuckwell were on a gap. So remember, Tuckwell's still in the leader's jersey. And okay, what did he have on Jorgensen? 2.5 minutes on GC, and he had like 3-minute gap to the other big guys. We see that basically the Trek domestique pacing is already putting Seixas under pressure, and Tuckwell. Those two are together. They're dangling at like 5 seconds. And then Ayuso just... Tullet starts to pace, maybe. Yeah, Tullet starts to pace. Remember, Del Toro is just getting a free ride here. He's got no one to pace for him. He's getting dragged away from Seixas. And then Ayuso just sends it, which
yes,
he should not have done. He said afterwards he should not have done.
Oh, I gotta say, I saw two pacing strategies here, and I think you saw the same. On one end, you've got the Del Toro Jebel Mobra strategy done by multiple riders here, where Del Toro but also Jorgensen are taking that on. Then you've got Ayuso stomping pedals the second that steep section hits, and he gets a gap on the other, sure, with Bentolet on the wheel, which I didn't really get. In hindsight, maybe the idea is that Bentolet has a bit of an advantage on Jorgensen by the time Jorgensen gets back, but if you think the pacing strategy of Jorgensen is better, then Bentolet should also be doing that pacing strategy, is my thought process there. But either way, Ayuso's now basically gone. Gap of maybe 20-25 second gross to Jorgensen and Del Toro behind.
But
after that, we see...
But yeah, Tullet doesn't wait for Jorgensen immediately.
Correct. Immediately, no.
So yeah,
I need to cut, so...
And Del Toro, he's getting to pace. And listen, the draft isn't that big here, but still, this is the way the climb worked out was perfect for Del Toro. Basically, Tullet eventually comes back. He starts to pace. He drops. Then Jorgensen starts to pace again. And like the last 300 meters at 11, 12%. And then it goes 3%. And Del Toro squeezes seeded Jorgensen off. And then he's going to get him out of the draft. And then he's going to go solo and then really take the gap and make them explode on the 3% section. Then he holds it level. So like Ayuso was riding really, really strongly. You see, Del Toro's like, I'm not going to catch him yet. I'll recover. I've just dropped Jorgensen, Johannesson, Odebrooks. You even see Johannesson attacking Jorgensen and Odebrooks trying to follow him. And yeah, Del Toro's like, I'll get to you when I get to you. Gets to him like 1,500 meters to go, maybe a bit longer. And immediately just like seated attacks him and drops the user.
Exactly. That's the way this climb goes. Now, because Paul Seixas is the big guy that crashed and the big guy that France is following, we have a time gap to Seixas. We don't have a time gap to Luke Tuckwell on this last climb. He's literally the yellow jersey.
Yeah, he really cracks in the last 3Ks.
Yeah, he was on a minute 30 for a lot of the climb, and then those last 2 kilometers were too much to the point that he does not lose the yellow jersey. That's important to note. He does lose a lot of his feathers to the point that if this time loss happens again tomorrow, he's in big trouble for not just the victory, but a podium. I still do think he might potentially top 5 this race, but we'll get into the GC standings in a bit. But like you said, Del Toro wins on top of Grand Colombier, the hard version of it. It is, I saw the estimated watts by Night Chaco on Twitter. It's not the greatest climbing performance of all time, but it's
same as yesterday, I think.
Yeah, it's a decent climbing performance, right? Have you put Del Toro based on this in your he can climb roster yet, or does he need to do like 640 ASLP?
No, this is Del Toro's level. Okay. He does 625, 630 all the time. I think Seixas, the crash has cost him. I mean, he did, yeah, obviously, but yeah, that's my informed opinion. The crash cost him. Del Toro just smart rider. Like I said, he's got one tactic. And if other riders are going to work for you and pace until the moment he wants to go, that tactic works 95% of the time. So, especially if there was no UAE riders to set the pace on Grand Colombier today. So, yeah, Del Toro does the business. Looking good for UAE team members. I think Ayuso impressed me quite a bit, actually, to be honest. I've not seen Ayuso climb this well on a steep climb for a long time.
Catalonia last year?
This is steep.
Yeah. We don't have that many climbs like this throughout the season, to be honest.
Yeah, but he's big, you know, so I thought very impressive. Yeah, he finishes on 24 seconds. Johannesson, 38 seconds, very good. Jorgensen, 41 seconds with the Oderbrook. Schelmoser sprints. Seixas, 117, 121. Christian Rodriguez, 229. He's firmly in the top 10 on GC now. And then the 2 Caja guys rode together, Jose Felix Parra and Jan Castellon. They finished 9th and 10th. That's pretty good from Caja Rural.
For sure. That is
really
strong.
good.
Like we know these guys can climb a bit, but this is a really good level. This is like a really good level. But I want to dive into a couple of those riders in the top 10 there, because for both GC and the stage, we've got some interesting performances there. In terms of Johannesson, we got to talk about this, man. Like at Itzulia Basque Country, he lost time on, I think, stage 2, lost 4 minutes there, then went into the breakaway on the last day and multiple days to move back into GC, ended up on the podium of the race. In this race right here, Dauphiné, in the first stage, he lost, I think, 3 minutes plus. Then he went into the breakaway already in the last few days. Now he literally finishes 3rd from the GC group today, climbing arguably with the best. I don't know what is up with this man. He's got like a Arendsman inconsistency at the start of 1 week races, and then suddenly shows up at his best level 3 days later. It is fascinating to see, but I bet his fans have a bit of a heart attack half of the time they watch this guy race, but it makes him move up to 5th in GC again. So fascinating there. Now, I want to bring it forward to about Ayuso, by the way. Like, one of the reasons that we haven't really seen him perform as much this year is because of that crash in the yellow jersey at Paris-Nice, where it didn't just take him out of GC that race, but it took him out until basically 4 days ago out of the sport of cycling. Yep. So I'm happy to see him back on level. And I feel like over the last year and a half, we've had these moments where, and I think we always talk about, can someone climb, can someone not climb gimmick? That kind of vibe of like, oh, there's only 2 climbers in the world. I think Del Toro, Ayuso, and even Remco, for example, I kind of expect all of those riders to be on point at the Tour de France.
Ayuso looks good. I hope Seixas not injured. Del Toro looks absolutely on point. Can I also say something?
Of course you can.
This climbing performance of everybody here doesn't move me.
I think that is fair.
It's again like the young pretender, Seixas. We don't know what he could have done today. He's the only one that is really like this performance doesn't threaten Pogacar or Vingegaard. But what does it show? Well, if Pogacar's first domestique wins the Dauphiné, I'd say that's pretty good for your team morale and team construction for the Tour de France coming up. Doesn't matter what the numbers say. So,
and these numbers don't need to be the numbers that fight a Jonas and Pogacar for the victory at the Tour de France, for example. Like an Ayuso, I think his goal is to podium the Tour de France.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be really good.
That's a realistic goal, I think.
I think so too. Well,
like Lipovic, I'd probably put higher right now, but still.
Yeah, Lipovic.
Seixas is difficult because I don't know what the consequences of the crash are today.
Lipovic would have gone with Ayuso today.
Yeah, he would have, but I reckon he might have held on.
I think so too. Let's talk about GC then, because we have a cracking stage tomorrow lined up. We have Luke Tuckwell 42 seconds ahead of Jorgensen. Del Toro is only 7 seconds behind Jorgensen in GC. That is literally, they could finish same time and win the sprint, and there's 2 riders in between. He wins GC. Johannessen's on 133, Seixas 154. He's not out of it at all, actually. He's not out of it at all. Can Seixas take a minute on Del Toro? Yes.
After today, it's difficult because I don't know what the consequences will be of the crash, but fresh Seixas can do that.
Yeah. So
peak Seixas, I would say.
I've also, by the way, I know I mispronounce it. I've done it so many times. I'm trying to change and do like Seixas. Can I do something in the middle like Seixas? Is that all right?
That's how you pronounce it, Seixas.
Seixas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'm flying. I hope he's in good. I hope he's not injured. That would be fantastic for the stage tomorrow. And yeah, I think. Wow. No offense to Luke Tuckwell, but he's not winning GC tomorrow. But I hope he can, do well. I think, we're a fan of him here. 120Ks tomorrow. It starts with the Col du Pré, 7Ks, 9.5%. Descent, 11.5Ks, 9%. Descent, 7Ks, 7%. False flat downhill. Then the Solaison, which is really, really hard. 11.5Ks, 9%. This is a brutal stage. We haven't had a stage in the Tour with this many steep altitude gain. I'm starting to crack here. I'm losing it. This
Col du Pré from the get-go out of the neutral zone.
Why are all these climbs
is
so
a monster
big?
Climb to have. Sorry?
All the bigger climbers with the big engines are here. Ayuso, Del Toro, Jorgensen, except for Seixas. And then they have this stage.
Like, it's not the longest stage, but the starter, that first climb is brutal to the point that break formation will be insane. Like, good luck controlling this. And we also spoke about break formation yesterday on the podcast. Add to that the fact that Decathlon just spent their entire team all day trying to get Seixas back, so they're going to be a little bit tired after today. And Red Bull had another crash with Daniel Felipe Martinez in the neutral zone today. I don't know what to expect in terms of breakaway formation tomorrow, what group can form, etc. It could be a crazy stage. Or do you think there's a world in which UAE will notice what happened today and say, maybe we are the honorary controllers right now, because technically we are the quote-unquote favorites to win GC, because Luke Tuckwell in GC, big fan, 100%, spoke to him this morning, but 42 seconds on Jorgensen and 49 seconds on Del Toro, you're fucked, mate.
Yeah, like he if he's smart, he just rides for top 5, top 6, and that's still a fantastic result, and he'll take it. So Jorgensen doesn't have to do anything. Like, what does he have to do?
Correct. Defend. Do his best.
I don't
think Visma, despite Jorgensen being the highest placed GC rider, it's not on them to control this race. Del Toro is
that's what I mean.
Virtually the favorite.
But Del Toro, what does he have to do, Benji?
Well, drop Jorgensen by 7
Not
seconds.
really. Just burst. Yeah, 7
What do you mean?
seconds. But he doesn't have to drop him.
Yeah. Well,
I think
needs a
Nordhagen.
gap.
I think Nordhagen being out is a big loss because Visma would have been the only two teams with two guys around the top 5 climbers, and now Nordhagen's out. Tulloch's going to have to put in a big shift tomorrow. Tulloch just go on the break with Amiral and just make UAE chase. Why not?
Trek should send Scalemoser in the breakaway is my pick.
100% with Kemner. Right.
I'm not sure they'll do it though.
But the UAE team, Benji, is weak climbing. You can have Del Toro on his own at the top of the first climb.
Yeah, but you will have most GC riders alone by then because
No.
half their teams are slaughtered.
Unless in a group of 25, will Torres be there? I'm not sure. He should be.
I'm not sure. Tollett will be there for Jorgensen. Tuck will be solo.
Bizio will be there.
Bizio should be there.
Camden might be there. Or Verona. Top 25. I'm just saying Del Toro, he's in the prime position to win GC now, but his team is a weakness.
By the way, I forgot to mention earlier, like you did your ultra marathon today.
Yes.
You're Australian.
Yes.
If a Belgian man did that, it would be on the front of the newspaper, Patrick.
Everyone kept seeing my nationality on my bib, and they're like, "What are you doing? What is a quokka doing in the mountains here?" I think Seixas tries. I think it's going to be really interesting. I think the crash is going to knock a few percent off Seixas even if he starts, and I think Del Toro is going to wait, be passive, and then attack in the last 2Ks and do just enough.
After today's crash, I think Del Toro wins GC.
Yeah.
I would like to see a chaotic breakaway formation leading to an uncontrollable situation where something crazy happens.
But now Visma
But
don't
there's
have the
too many
horses.
teams. There's too many teams that will be fighting for their top 10 position and might defend a 6th position in GC by pacing with some domestique in the peloton to make sure the break doesn't take 7 minutes. That kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah, Movistar. Well, they go for top 5. So yeah, I think Nordhagen being out is really changing the race. I hope Seixas, what would be fantastic for the Tour de France, what we need tomorrow is Seixas to go
on the first climb.
on the Monte de Bizan on the first or second climb and do a fucking full stage solo. I hope we have it. Well, we won't see it televised, but that would be magic.
To be honest, if he feels it, I don't deem it completely impossible.
Because Del Toro will.
It is unlikely, though.
Because if he gets the gap, right? Because the thing is, you have to do it early against Del Toro. Because he does his pacing gimmick, right? But then everyone will look to Del Toro. And then you have the Carapaz Finestra situation again. Because he'll be like, well, he won't have a team to chase.
Yeah. But you say you have to do it early. Can you achieve the same goal by attacking very early on the Plateau de Solaison? In doing so, doing what Ayuso did today? Or will Jorgensen then pace with Del Toro behind?
No, I think then if you do it the final climb, then doesn't Del Toro just do his pace? And then Seixas is
but Del Toro's pace is slowing down at the start of the climb and then trying to catch up towards the end?
Yeah, but then Seixas has to take a minute. And if Del Toro just does his pace, there's no guarantee you take the minute. But if you go early and he blinks and then no one helps him, then I can't wait to watch, but also we missed the 2 climbs, so you can't watch them. I've reached my limit. Sorry the pod was late. Thanks, Benji and Luke, for waiting. Hope you enjoyed it. We both predicted Del Toro GC.
I don't remember, but I'll take it.
I
We
think
was won in
Seixas
Copenhagen Sprint, by the way.
I think
The bike
Seixas wins the stage.
was
by
not
the
too
way.
heavy. Seixas going to win the stage?
And Del Toro, and you can redraft that tweet like Del Toro doesn't contest the stage. You know the meme.
I know. People who are watching that have no clue what you're talking about.
Sorry, yes, Lorena Weber, surprise, she watched Copenhagen. I'm not going to rewatch that probably because I don't know how many bike lengths it was. All right, tomorrow I'm also driving to Tignes, so it might be a bit delayed as well. But that's not true. No. I'm doing the pod in a car park. As soon as the stage finishes, I'm doing the pod in the car park in the car. So no, forget that. I'm watching it live.
Drive safely, eh? No tablet on the ride like a DS.
I can't drive.
Your wife's gonna have to narrate next to you.
Mrs. Rouge is going to have to do the whole drive. I can't move. I can't press the accelerator. I'll get a cramp. So anyway,
That's the end.
Thanks for listening as always. Thanks to Morton for keeping me alive. And we'll see you with the recap tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.